All right, welcome to TIL Talks with Chris White, where we talk TILs, tumor-infiltrating lymphocytes, and all advanced cell and gene therapies, both with patients and caregivers, along with industry leaders. Let's get going. As a reminder, I am not a medical professional or medical expert. I am only a professional and expert on my story and my experience. If you are needing or seeking medical advice or assistance, please reach out to your care team. What's up? What's up? Welcome back to TIL Talks. Today's going to be a very brief and quick TIL Talk. I want to welcome everybody to say hello to Adrienne Mendoza from BioBridge Global Advanced Therapies. She recently just put a post out on LinkedIn about the Mobile Leukapheresis bus, and this is what this conversation is about. And with further ado, Adrienne, please give us a little one-on-one on what's going on.
I love it. Thank you so much, Chris, for having me on. You're the first person to reach out with an interview request, and I'm honored because, well, I don't know if the audience knows this. I don't think they do, but you have helped actually raise funds for our Mobile Leukapheresis Center. We're a profit organization. We don't really get to pioneer on things without help from our communities, and it helped greatly. You helped inspire people to give as well as you gave yourself, and it was how we actually were able to do this in the end. So
Thank you.
it is to your credit, and I'm so glad I'm on today. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks for popping on. No notice. Saw the LinkedIn post, only had so much information. What can you expand upon and talk about with the recent developments with the Mobile Leukapheresis bus? And what does that mean for both the state of Texas and the patient population?
Yeah, it's very exciting. So this collaboration that I'm thrilled that we were able to announce is the first commercially approved CAR T-cell therapies. Right now, they're offered by KITE. In this case, with this collaboration, those patients that are in Texas, in the entire state of Texas, that may need help to have us collect their cells so that they can access therapies, able to go to them with the Mobile Leukapheresis Center under the agreement. And that is just incredibly important because a huge barrier to access is geography, particularly in the area that we're in Texas. We're in the South Texas area in San Antonio, but our bus can reach all parts of Texas. But we created this model to help overcome the great geographic distance issue we have, particularly in the areas of South Texas, West Texas. But we know that all parts of Texas need some help, and there may not be another provider in the area that the patient lives. So in those cases, we'll go to them, and it will be a crucial part of them obtaining this therapy in the end. So we're very excited that KITE has been the first to do this. I believe this will set a paradigm motion for the entire industry to sort of monitor, take notice, try as well till we overcome this access barrier.
Right on. Wow. That is just stellar information. From my own knowledge, I know that y'all currently can cover a 70,000 square mile region. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. Historically, as a blood center, the hospitals we've served in as a blood bank, historically, that's what we've evolved from being a blood bank into an advanced therapies and regenerative medicine organization. At the end of the day, though, it's helping provide access to cell, tissue, and blood-based medicines, including transfusible products. But historically, as a blood bank, we've served a region of approximately 70,000 square miles, which encompasses all parts of San Antonio to areas like Del Rio, down to the Rio Grande Valley, an area of about 6 million people.
Oh.
But it's obviously the reach we typically have when it comes to conducting routine daily blood drives and events that inspire the community to give blood on a routine basis. Because it's easy for us to bring back those products and manufacture the blood locally and provide that to our local hospitals. But we know that this particular area of cell and gene therapy, the distances can be quite great. And in our case, the therapies are manufactured by the pharmaceutical company in this particular instance, right? So where they're collected and they're processed, that's all handled by the logistics downstream of collections. And in this case, it allows us the freedom to be able to go outside of that historical 70,000 square mile area into other parts. We can do 1 or 2 day trips spanning out about 500 miles to the border of Texas. And we feel it's really important for the community in Texas to have access to this.
That is badass. I just had to throw that out there. So y'all are down in San Antonio. I'm up here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. For the average anybody that is out there, what does that mean for somebody that say that is within my metroplex? If I were just to grab the microphone and go to any event anywhere and start asking random people like, hey, what do you know about oncology? What do you know about cell therapy? I always would get the question like, what is that? What does that mean? I guess my question would be, at what point or what would it take for the knowledge of this, just its existence and it is an option to reach the further parts of Texas? Texas is a huge state, so there's a lot of ground to cover per se. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, a second bus I know would be in the work, hopefully a third and fourth, and then other states and everything. But to simply put, I mean, would that be something that the DFW area could see in the near future or within the next couple of years, or what are we looking at?
Yeah, it's a great question. And there's a couple things I will touch on as far as when this actually becomes more widely available, right? This is a key ingredient to the paradigm of improving access to advanced therapies, having this collections capabilities, which is what the Mobile Leukapheresis Center does. And we always have that online and available no matter where the patient is. So we actually, I'll touch on one of the points about the second Mobile Leukapheresis Center. Excitingly, that has been underway, raised enough funds to support a second Mobile Leukapheresis Center, and that will be available this year. Actually, just a few months from now. Stay tuned. We have an announcement about that. But that's so that we can always have the availability, no matter if there's, let's say, two patients, one in Rio Grande Valley, one in Hill Country, same day, they need to have the apheresis service. We'll send the two buses out. And also just backup. If when we have a maintenance or an area where we need to pull the bus out of service, we'll always have another backup. That way, nobody's ever waiting for it to go back online. So that's the point of having a second bus. It's not so much the geographic distance as being able to support patients all the time, but the buses that we have are capable of going 600 miles plus. They are not requiring any power, so completely self-contained, all the data systems. I've had like internet live stream of all the analytics on board. It happens real time no matter what, even when we're on the road, but we have generators to serve all the power requirements on board. So it is a very flexible tool when it comes to going places, durable as well. When it comes to other ingredients, though, I mentioned of the Dallas-Fort Worth area or other parts of Texas, in our area here in the South Texas area, it's going to require more treatment centers to ultimately get created and for those existing treatment centers to start to scale their capacity. So that means there's always going to be a doctor involved, right? A doctor who is aware of this therapy, who is prescribing the therapy. It requires the payers to authorize the therapy. So with all of those aspects in place, that's when the order and the request comes in for us to help support leukapheresis. As you can imagine, the more patients are being referred, the more patients are getting authorized to receive these approved medicines, the more likely it is that we'll be going to a particular area of the state to support a patient in that area. But there's still a lot of work to do when it comes to having more and more treatment centers and more referrals, more patient and physician education. Often patients, as yourself, have had to navigate this on their own. And that's an unfortunate reality of what is essentially not a mainstay drug yet, but on the way to it. And until there are more treatment centers available, there still will be a pretty low number of patients that will be seen. But I believe as time goes on, this part of the ingredient, this Mobile Leukapheresis Center, helps to support more treatment centers, more patients, more referrals. So I believe it will help increase the number. And that's what it's really designed to do. It's increase the likelihood someone can obtain this therapy, overcome the geographic burden, and support more places in Texas to be able to offer this therapy, because that upstream step is a crucial part of being able to even offer it. So that is how this all comes together. This is one part of the puzzle. Some of the puzzle pieces are there, but there's more to fill in to make that whole picture so that no matter where you are, you're getting access. And I want to pay respect to the fact that we have collaborators, right? Where there's people in the field, there's other blood banks in the community that have the capability to provide pheresis that may be in fixed site versus a mobile center. But there is more beyond Texas. Even in Texas, there's more capacity there than what might be realized. So as we get more and more of these treatment centers activated and more physicians aware and more patients are needing to be treated, then I think we're at the point where we can support all of those patients.
That's just awesome. Wow. Just say, for example, someone like myself or anyone out there, what can an individual do to help expedite or speed up this process? Obviously, there's multiple barriers and layers of, I don't want to say necessarily red tape, but you can't go from just straight A to C without crossing B. So, what can both individuals, organizations, groups do to help support and speed this up?
Yeah. Well, for sure, if there is someone who's interested in learning more, we would gladly, as an organization, be an avenue to some points of contact. So if anyone out there is wanting to learn more about what are the opportunities to get access to these kinds of therapies, you can reach out to us. We're definitely not a healthcare provider, for example, so we can't offer medical advice, but we can try to point them in the right direction. But our website is bbgat.org. So BBG Advanced Therapies is what that stands for, .org. But in terms of what those of us who are in this community and those of you all who are watching this, as you're likely to be on the platforms, pretty kind of aware of cell and gene therapy. I think we all each have a duty to do as much as we can to inform and educate the community around us and to be involved in advocacy efforts, involved in communication and education efforts, not only to the average ordinary citizen who may not actually even have a need for accessing this therapy, but that you be an ambassador, then they can be an ambassador. A lot of this is word of mouth. People become aware. Now they feel educated, and it comes up in a casual dinner conversation that someone in their family or their friend circle dealing with something that they need help and maybe can't navigate. And maybe you give them just enough information to provide that level of detail. And just as every medicine we've seen come before, once a certain maybe number of people get treated, there's like a magic number, I think, out there where enough people have heard and known about it and experienced it. It starts to become more common knowledge. We're not at
Yeah.
that point yet. That's a ways away from that, but we each have a duty to help educate our case. And then, like I've picked up the token on that one, creating content with cell character Tuffy, which is like an animated character that helps to explain some of these different cell therapies. Yes, you have a Tuffy. Oh,
There goes my snowboard that was on display, but it's
this
okay.
is like not a professional studio.
You know, I'm always trying to redecorate, but
Yes,
we got a little
yeah.
Tuffy right here.
Yeah, he's got a cape on. The cape, we think of the Mobile Leukapheresis Center as a school bus for cells. It picks up the cells, and takes them to training camp. And so at training camp, Tuffy got his cape and now he's ready to fight. So I've organized that. But that's my attempt at doing what I just offered to all of you in the audience is do what you can to help educate your community. And you have knowledge that I guarantee most people do not have. You have insights as to how people can get involved in a clinical trial, do a commercial therapy. There are so many great organizations that are doing important things. I'm so proud of our colleagues at KITE that have wanted to do things differently and uniquely so that we can overcome these things together. And I know there's others out there who are trying to instill the infrastructure and the knowledge necessary to bridge those gaps. But I believe we all have incredible power to help our community better understand. And the more people know, the more empowered they are to help someone when they need it. So it's what we're all charged to do. So I hope you all sort of take that on and find a way to do your own Tuffy, to do your own mobile leukapheresis center, whatever it takes
Yeah.
to support finding a new system and a new way of navigating this.
Straight up. I mean, you got to start somewhere. And my whole mindset always has been and always will be like something is better than nothing. You know what I mean? Like you're only going to miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So somebody's got to be the first. So cheers. Cheers to BBG Advanced Therapies. Cheers to KITE. Cheers to Texas. History literally being made now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was this yesterday? Like 24 out, little over 24 hours ago, that you put the post out that said that, hey, BBG and KITE, we got this collaboration going. I immediately was like, man, it's a huge step. Like, might be baby steps, but like I said, you gotta before you can run. But hopefully, we're all going to be sprinting and crossing the finish line here sooner than later.
We're blazing the trail so others can follow. That's what we do. And I believe that this is the start of a paradigm shift. I know that's cliche, but it is a paradigm shift.
No,
And
you're right.
the way that therapies can be accessed because we're decoupling stuff that historically has been tied to authorizing a treatment center to make these therapies available. When that's coupled and when it's flexible and it can be transported to wherever it needs to go, it is a complete change in how the supply chain works in this field. And it still preserves the quality, it preserves the integrity of the chain of custody and chain of identity just as it needed to be. And I believe that, thank you, by the way, for acknowledging it's one step in a larger journey, and there's more to do. Reflect on what it took to even get here. There's been innumerable conversations I've had with the FDA, with FACT, with AABB, with the CMS, HHS groups to unpack and package what it takes to actually decouple that step. And so proud of the teams. It's not just, of course, me. I get the privilege of being spokesperson for a lot of this. It has taken a village, and the people who are on both the pharmaceutical side, patient advocacy side, this is yourself, the people who have given financial means to help support this get launched, as well as the regulators, the accrediting bodies. They've all been so supportive of getting this going, being creative and thinking outside the box, because everybody wants to fix this. And we're finally at a point where we have a way of thinking and doing things differently that we haven't tried before, but now we're trying it. And that is very, very exciting to see happen.
Extremely exciting. I'm so glad that we were able to make this connection and have this conversation as quick as we did, because to me, I mean, there's no better time than the present, and it's such a gift. So thank you so much. I know you got a busy schedule, you got a busy day. So again, thank you for taking the time to come on here and talk about this a little bit. Anything else you want to mention before you got to log off?
Yeah, I want to just highlight a couple of next steps. Those of you guys who are watching this all unfold, we're going to see those patients that are going to benefit from this. We'll see over time, help form the industry. How does this impact access and availability? How does it overcome? So I look forward, even years from now, looking back and seeing the curve, the arc of when a program like this has an impact to our community and potentially to others as well. So hope it does inspire others to get involved in various ways. And like I said, we'll blaze the trail so others can follow. So hopefully it's not the innovation that comes into this space.
Straight up. Well, Adrienne, thank you so much to everybody out there listening. Thank you for tuning in, and God bless. Peace. All right, that concludes today's episode of TIL Talks with Chris White, as we talk TILs, tumor-infiltrating lymphocytes, and all advanced cell and gene therapies. As a reminder, I am not a medical professional or medical expert. I am only a professional and expert on my story and my experience. If you are needing or seeking medical advice or assistance, please reach out to your care team. I'd like to thank my guest today for joining me on TIL Talks. For our listeners who have not yet done so already, please follow, comment, subscribe, share, and smash that like button. For more information about TIL Talks and related resources, please visit www.tiltalks.com. I'm Chris White. As always, sending love to everybody. Peace.